So I will now switch into English, so you have a chance of understanding what we're talking about.
Yes.
But do you understand some Danish?
This is the problem, but I think this is, it is in a way a shame, but it is the fault of the Danish people. On the beginning of my career, I went to Austria, and I didn't speak any German, but they didn't speak any English, so I had to learn German. If I want to be a bit ugly, they couldn't speak even German, the Austrians. But this is a bit of a politically not correct.
Yes, I think so.
And then I went to Finland. I was there 3 years, and I could learn some Finnish. And I went to Italy, and I learned some Italian because people couldn't speak any English. And when by the time I came to Denmark, even the homeless people speak an Oxford English here.
Yeah.
It is impossible to learn a language, so
Yes.
I'm very sorry for that.
Yeah.
This is the first country where I'm working, and I was not able to learn a language.
It's our own fault. Yes.
Yes, only your fault.
Well, Adam, thank you very much for doing this talk. I know that you prefer conducting more than talking. Yes.
Conductors should never speak too much. That is what the orchestra people say to me.
But I must say, after enjoying this first part, I'm amazed at your energy level. You must be in completely perfect shape.
It is a fantastic music, so it's so interesting because I always tell the story that was the very first piece. I was 5 when I heard the first time this
piece, when you were 5 years old.
Every time when I hear, I discover new things, and it's a fantastic feeling.
Was it this piece that made you want to be a conductor when you were 5?
Yes, it was a very strange story because I was prepared by my father that the music will be very soft, and then suddenly there is a timpani and that will be very loud, and everybody will be. So, and of course, if you are 5, I was expecting something huge, and then it was nothing. It was a
okay.
And then I was very disappointed. And then my father, he was a pedagogue. He took me backstage to the conductor, and I should ask the conductor why it wasn't loud. And I said, oh yes, and I asked something, and he answered something which I don't remember, I couldn't understand. He said something about the difference between forte and fortissimo, that is not fortissimo, that's forte. He explained everything, but I was disappointed as a child. And then at the end they said, well, if you are grown up, then you might become a conductor, and you can ask the timpani player to play louder, and then you can hear it louder. So that was the first feeling. I should become a conductor and ask the timpani player to play it louder. It was 55.
That's a fantastic story. So when Andreas was talking, he was saying that
no, it was asked me also to be loud. So.
Very loud, I agree.
That it has to be, in the sense of this piece.
When Andreas was talking before, he compared your relationship with the Danish Chamber Orchestra to a marriage, because you've been together for 25 years. And when people are together for 25 years in a marriage, you always ask them, how do you do it? What's the magic? How come you're still together? How come you still love each other? So can you try to explain this special relationship that you have with these people here, this orchestra?
It's a very good question. I don't really know how to answer, but so beginning with the, sorry what I say now, because you say it is a marriage, that is a sort of open marriage, because I'm working with other I'm working with other orchestras, and they are working with other conductors, so it's not exactly the
You're
same.
Not being
but
very
it's
faithful.
Even if it's an open marriage and you have this relationship, it's even more. I think we found a style in Mozart, Beethoven, and all the music which is unique, and I can tell you it is unique because we have a very dramatic and full of energy, and it's not when we play Haydn or when we play Beethoven, it is not only my Beethoven, it's our Beethoven. I conduct a different Brahms elsewhere as here, and it is a very interesting thing because when I take the solutions from here, the technical solution, whether it be up or down bow or short or long, they never function elsewhere. It is only here. So it's something. I have a sort of. I get a help from the orchestra, or I get new ideas, and they get new ideas through me, and that we
build it up together.
It is just interesting, and I'm very, very glad, and everybody should be very proud that people recognize it internationally. Because when we played our Beethoven in Vienna, or about the CDs, they recognize that we offer something different. I don't want to say that it is the best Beethoven, but it is a different Beethoven to the bigger orchestras, and that's something very special.
And the orchestra also helps you evolve as a conductor?
Yeah, they are inspiring me very much, and they are inspiring me in one direction. And as a conductor, my job is not just to have a vision and I want to do this because it is not working. I have partners, and I have to see the personality of the partner, and I have to help my partners to realize their personalities. If I have a what should I say, a flute player, I don't want, no, it's not nothing to do with that, who is very gentle and full of thinking, and I have another one who is very robust and plays very loud, or a clarinet player, then I should not ask him or her to be robust if she's not. I should use what she or he is offering. He has and I have to use the personalities of the single players, and if everybody has the feeling that they can realize it, then that's a good result. And that is what so I mean, it's not only the style of us, because we started 25 years ago, and there are a lot of great musicians of the orchestra who are not with us anymore, and so it came from them, but we got
that's
tradition.
The culture in
the tradition of the orchestra.
So, Adam, your philosophy of conducting, I would like to ask about, because Andreas mentioned that you have a great leadership, you have a good communication with the musicians. So, if you're conducting, and you realize that it's not, maybe people are not living up to their potential, it's not going exactly the way you want to, how do you react to this? I guess there must be colleagues of yours who get very, very temperamental, very angry.
It's different. It depends with whom. I mean, the fact is that that is the art of conducting, that the musician is doing what I want, but he or she thinks that doing what she or he wants. So it's not so easy to reach, but that is what I would like to have.
But you told me before when we talked that if someone doesn't perform well, you feel like it's as much as your fault as it's their fault.
It is a part of the conductor is always has a responsibility, and a lot of conductors, sorry to say so, that they don't realize how much responsibility they can have. If, for instance, I'm conducting an opera performance, and I feel I have to breathe with the singer, and if I get at the end of the phrase, I feel that she or he does not have enough air in his lung. And then if I make a ritenuto, then it won't be good. So I have to, even if I think I should be slower, I have to be faster. Or the otherwise, if she's out of, can't breathe anymore, needs a bit more space to breathe again, then I keep the orchestra a little bit back. It is on a level that I cannot explain. It is under this level, but you have to breathe with the partner. And the good performance, a good opera conductor is not who where the singers say after the performance, oh, I was fantastic tonight, and they don't know why. And so that is what I think that is the part of the responsibility of the conductor. And it is the same with orchestra musicians, because they have to breathe too. And
hopefully.
Now look, a violin player, the bow is sounding different here, and if I change the tempo middle of it, they have to, I force them to
to change.
play against the wave what they prepared, or I don't breathe with the woodwind, then it won't be a good performance. And
so you breathe at the same time as the musicians?
I should. I try to. It's not always possible.
I don't understand how that's possible actually. But so, and you notice where they are in their sort of path?
We should notice it. I mean, there are differences between the woodwind instruments, because some instruments need less air, some instruments need more air, and some instruments the oboes can breathe in and blow out at the same time, so they don't need that. They don't need to.
They have circular breathing.
But the clarinet would need it, and the horn needs more air than the clarinetto, for instance. So it's not so difficult as it sounds.
I think it is. Maybe you should let me try, and then we can see. Adam, I would also like to talk with you about this. You talk about a certain responsibility that goes along with being a gifted and talented artist like yourself. You are a privileged man. You told me you have, you enjoy your job. It's like your hobby. You get paid for it. You have the money you need. But there are other people who are not as fortunate as you, and you feel a certain responsibility.
Of course, we have to help the others. That is what I believe, and I think that I'm following the example of Giuseppe Verdi. That was one of the greatest composer, and as you probably know, that at the end, all the money he earned with music he put into the Casa Verdi, which is a home for poor old musicians, retired musicians, and then he was asked why, and he said, because I was much more fortunate than the others. The others, we started together our career, and they were as good as I am, which is not true, because Verdi was better than everybody else. But they were as good as me, but they had less fortune in life, and it makes sense. Sometimes you have fortune, sometimes you don't. And my job is to help those who were meno fortunati, that is in Italian, less fortunate in life. And then at the end of his life, he was asked what is he most proud of, what he created in his life. And he hasn't mentioned Traviata, hasn't mentioned Aida, he said the Casa Verdi. This is where that was where, and I think he was right in a way. And there are so many young musicians also now who are as good as I was. But when we got this Corona crisis, I was in an age where my job was secure. But if people have to make changes in their career and they are in 20, 25, then it could ruin your entire life, and that is not your fault.
No.
So that's why I think I'm very, very, very fortunate in life, and I have a bad conscience about it, and to help it, I want to help others.
Andreas mentioned that you received the very prestigious Wolf Prize together with Paul McCartney, actually.
Yes, I got only the half. The other half went to
this man called Paul McCartney. He got the other half. But and I read the reason why they awarded you this very, very prestigious prize, and it said that you received it for being an inspirational conductor and an eloquent defender of human rights, which is great words.
I'm a member of different human rights groups, and I was one of the founding members of the Hungarian Helsinki Committee for 30 years ago. Yes, and I'm coming from a country where human rights are very important.
And you are still a member of the Hungarian Helsinki Committee.
Yes.
And for those who maybe not know what it is, it's a committee that tries to enhance or improve human rights.
Freedom of, yes, human rights. It was 1974 when the Soviet Union and America made the Helsinki Agreement in Helsinki, and they said everybody should have the right to say everything what he or she thinks. And that was what the Russians signed, because they were not...
They didn't know what they signed.
They were not thinking, because that was the beginning of the end. Because then we started in the Eastern countries to well, you signed the Helsinki Agreement, I can say that you are an idiot, you're the minister. And that was the beginning, because that was something, there's a new development in the society that they couldn't stop anymore. And it is still there, and unfortunately today is even more important.
It's more important than ever, and you're still in this Helsinki committee, but isn't there a clash between your musical world and this political world? How do you combine these two?
Why should it be a clash? I mean,
there are not many conductors like you who have who engage in a political.
I'm doing it in my free time and private. Of course.
Does it come with a cost?
I don't know. I did it from the beginning, and that was very important for me. And so even I was asked if I'm so much against the present Hungarian government, which is not true. I'm not against the present Hungarian government, because we were against also the other government, the previous one. We want to defend human rights, and if you don't read them, then it's not interesting from which side. But any case. But anyway, I was asked whether I'm not afraid not to be able to go back and work in Hungary anymore, but it's not the case. And I think what I told you, we say often, you don't get a concert, you give a concert. So if they don't want me, I don't go there, but they want me.
You don't give them. So I mentioned, Andrea mentioned, that you received awards. You received a Lifetime Achievement Awards this year from the classical community. And how do you feel about these awards? How do you feel about getting this recognition? I mean, Lifetime Achievement Award, that is something.
Yes, should I be honest?
Yes, that's why I'm asking.
I don't like it, because I'm thinking of my future, and I always want a future, and it has been always in my life, even with conducting and music, and what I told you, if I conduct a symphony, I always discover something new, and if I have the CDs, and if I do the piece the next time, then I discover something new, and I'm very angry. Why did how I did it before? So I don't like my old recordings, and I don't like my past.
You don't like your past.
So it is a fantastic thing to get a prize, because then
they clean up your past.
Yes, there must be something if they give me an award. So I see my past much better than after.
In the end, I would like to ask you about ego. That's why I'm talking about the awards as well. Because I guess and that's what I thought, in order to be a great conductor, you have to have quite an ego. Is that true?
Yes, that's why I'm not a good conductor. I don't know. I don't believe so. The function of a conductor has to lead, but lead to serve, like the Pope. If a Pope is a vain person, then it's not a good Pope. and I think it's not. But I have to tell you that at the beginning of the career and even later, there were a lot of people, including my teacher. If I don't get harder and I don't get more like a gorilla, then I will never make a career as a conductor. And I'm very glad that
you proved them wrong?
Yes, I proved them wrong, and this is also, that's why I'm very glad.
But why do you think you were told by your teacher and your managers and others that you have to be sort of self-aware in this way?
People think that it's necessary, and
it's not.
It is a very strange profession, conducting. I wanted to write what I think, and you can ask me what I think, what is the secret of conducting, but at the end there are different forms of conducting, and in our family is almost everybody a conductor, a man. and all women are psychologists. My mother and my sister was psychologists, and my sister says these are the two professions. What says charlatan? Charlatan.
Charlatan, we have that in Danish.
These are the two charlatan professions, conductors and psychologists. Okay.
Well,
okay.
Adam, I will let you go now, and we will have a break, and then afterwards you can talk through music.
And I start a new career at the end of the concert.
Yes, we're looking forward to that.
Okay.
Give him a big applause.